Once upon a time, in a village called Igbobi, known for their cultural values and belief, it was a village that was deep in their culture. They had a palace where the palace maids were always busy because chiefs and other kings from different villages always visit this village called Igbobi. Igbobi is a village blessed with beautiful girls and their women are hardworking. They had a strong king who was a warrior. He was loved and respected by other kings and villages. He had a son called Aaron. Aaron was the prince of the land, the leader of the warriors and the protector of the villagers. He was also a strong warrior. He had won a lot of battles. Aaron was called upon by other villages to fight wars for them. Aaron was a strong, fine man who was loved by the old villagers. Among the maidens in the palace was this beautiful girl, Esther. Esther was an orphan who came into the palace at a very young age. Esther was brought up by the king and his late wife. Esther grew up to be among the maidens in the palace. She was a very beautiful and hardworking maiden. While others were gossiping, Esther would be working. The prince of the land, Aaron, found love in her. He would stand watching her in so many occasions. Aaron would go to the stream just to see her walk. Esther was worried. Why is the prince always going around the place telling people he has feelings for me? What if the king hears about this? It will be my last in the palace. Aaron told Esther, "Be rest assured that I am in love with you. I'm the prince of this land, and no one is going to tell me who I am going to fall in love with." Now this is it. Esther was not just loved by the prince, she was also loved by other men in the village and also nearby villages. She was not just an hardworking lady. Esther was a very considerate lady. There was this particular old man in the village that the wife died while giving birth to her kids. He lived a lonely life, but Esther made the man happy by going to help him every time. Esther would cook and wash for him, sweep his environment, and make sure he was okay. There was also an old woman in the village who Esther took upon herself to help. She called her Nne. Nne was an old woman with no kids. Esther would wash, cook, and tidy up the house for her. They always prayed for Esther. Nne called Esther one day and said, "Esther, my daughter, you've been a great help to me. Don't worry. God is going to reward you with a good man who is going to love and cherish you. You are not going to suffer in marriage." This was the prayer of the old woman. She was always happy to have Esther around her. Esther was indeed a maid loved by all. One day, the king summoned his chiefs and kinsmen and told them, "Guys, it is time for my son Aaron to pick a wife. I am not getting any younger. The prince needs a wife before I take my exit from this world." And the kinsmen pulled together and told the king, "Igwe, you know how it is done. Let the town crier go and announce to the villagers that the old ladies are going to come and dance in the palace. Whoever catches the hearts of the king and the prince will be the next queen." The town crier went to the village square and made this great announcement. He told the old villages that there will be a big ceremony in the palace where different girls will come and dance in front of the prince and the king. And whosoever dances very well will be the next queen of the village. The old ladies were so excited about this news. Of course, the prince was loved by everyone. On the day of the ceremony, the palace was filled with so many beautiful ladies. both old and young, who came to try their luck. Even some girls from other villages came together to the village of Igbobi to participate in this ceremony. Everyone was so excited about this ritual that was going to take place. It began. The ladies started dancing. They all danced and danced and danced, all to impress the king and the prince. The king watched in so much excitement. He was so happy, while the prince was watching with so much anger in him. He didn't like what he was seeing. He was not in his place to question the king. At a point, he got tired, went to the king, and told the king, "My king, I am begging you. I don't like these ladies. I already have someone in mind." The prince already sighted Esther as she was watching so happily behind the wall of the village palace. She was watching the dance excitedly when the prince stood up from where he was sitting down and walked among the ladies. They were all surprised, wanting to know who the next queen may be. They were shocked and sad when the prince took the hands of Esther and presented her to the king and said, "My king, I have watched these ladies dance. They are all beautiful and they are going to get good men for themselves. I am sorry to disappoint them all, but I don't want any of them. This is who I have chosen." They were all shocked to see that a maid was picked from the crowd. The king, who had so much love for his son Aaron, crowned Esther as the next queen of the village of Igbobi. They later got married and lived happily after. Aaron and Esther had beautiful children together, and they abolished the law that said people will not marry for love, but for the choice of the king's men. Esther and Aaron lived a very happy life with their children, and they ruled the land of Igbobi with love. Moral lesson of this story: it is good to be good to people. It doesn't have to be your parents alone. And trust me, the prayer of the old people goes a long way in our lives. There is no act of kindness that goes without reward. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the story. Wait for my next story. Bye.